Yeah, so I made a presentation about like the creative influences on the games I make. That's about it. I started playing them since I was around like what 5 years old. My father had a PlayStation 2 and an old 32-bit PC. Basically, it was an old PC even back then. I started playing GTA San Andreas and Spider-Man, like an old tie-in movie game. They used to do that because of the marketing and they make more money, I guess. It sucked, but I suppose for 5-year-old me it was amazing. Not because of anything, but because it was, well, a world. My design philosophy is heavily impacted by these four games: Fallout, like the nuclear Fallout, Deus Ex, as in Deus Ex Machina, Thief, and Grand Theft Auto. The impact they have on me is that it allows for interactivity. Interactivity in a way that no other art medium can allow. Game books can do this, save maybe for tabletop RPGs, but even then, you're limited by the dungeon master. I suppose everybody has heard of Dungeons and Dragons. Deus Ex is what to me is a perfect game. It was released like 24 years ago. The story takes place in the year 2052, a cyberpunk tale with a focus on conspiracy theories. Most of them came true, fortunately. It stars JC Denton, an augmented agent working for UNATCO, United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition. Its graphics are not photorealistic, which is the way I like it. Reality is overrated. I don't like realistic graphics because in 10, 20 years time, technology will surpass them. The sci-fi inspirations are a lot. I am a huge fan of sci-fi. I love sci-fi. From Star Wars, Blade Runner, or Philip K. Dick's, what was it? Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, 2001: Space Odyssey, Isaac Asimov's Foundation, and William Gibson's Neuromancer. All these are favorites. I love hardcore sci-fi because it brings you to another world, even if you have to adapt to a certain reading style. Cyberpunk is my favorite, not the game, the genre. It is a dystopian view of the world, a corporatocracy, which, well, allows for a certain view of the world, technology that comes through. Another artistic inspiration is David Lynch. And more specifically Twin Peaks, because it was original at the time, what, 90s. Nobody had seen this. Nobody has seen something like it ever since. A little man dressed in red dancing on jazz, liminal space. It proved that episodic storytelling could work. Before that, episodic storytelling was not connected through, basically it was a set, like comedic sets, Dynasty, comedic shows like that. Liminal spaces are what I found through Twin Peaks. These are transitional spaces like dimly lit corridors, space between realities, something that should not exist. These are spaces in which you ask yourself, have I been here before? A certain deja vu. I don't know how to explain them, really. They became popular back in the day, basically with the meme, the backrooms. I don't know how relevant it is right now, but still. The Witcher is one of my inspirations, not because it's fantasy. I mean, I like fantasy, but because of its grey morality. In the books and the adapted games, there are a lot of situations in which there is not a clear-cut solution, which means that you have to think. It's a moral dilemma. Something that will keep the player's minds occupied even after the game is finished. Should I have done this? Should I have done that? Should I have done anything at all? Game books, I mentioned them before. I don't know if everybody is knows what a game book is. It's basically interactive literature that depends on game mechanics, on chance, dice rolls, whatever. What I like about them, at least the inspiration that comes for me from them, is that they're a perfect antithesis to how interactivity should be in video games. Game books have designated choices written by authors, which you should go to the page number if you want to do this, or if you want to do XYZ, you should go to episode 200, for example. Doom I don't know how many people know about Doom. It's a 1993. It's an old game, basically. There are modern counterparts, but it doesn't inspire me like artistically, more so what impact I want to make. It embraced modding. John Carmack made one of, if not the greatest program of all time, made Doom look 3D. Games couldn't handle 3D, basically. He used a clever graphics method, wasn't developed by him, but still did it. Crashes happened in in universities networks because there were so much players then. Comic books inspired me because they proved that they could be art and great literature. Like, people think that their ambitions go towards kid literature. That's not true. 1986, The Dark Knight Returns, a 4-comic book limited series released by Frank Miller. Alan Moore's Watchmen released, and even some comic books, even though they rely mostly on melodrama, released by Stan Lee back in 1962, the Spider-Man comic book series. It also taught me another important concept. Reality is overrated. Each and every comic book is unique, at least in art style. That's what's important.